Ken is a good boy who is loved by his father and stepmom. He is however addicted to pornography, and this newfound practice of his has degenerated into questionable habits such as his regular peeping of Rita, his stepmom, whenever she is in the bedroom. Rita has informed her husband about Ken's disturbing behavior, but Vincent trivialized it, pushing the responsibility of correction back to her. He seldomly reprimands his beloved Ken. Rita's present predicament is how best to mitigate Ken's moral decadence without jeopardizing the peace and harmony in her home in the process. Her bosom friend, Pimpe, can't seem to help her.
Hello there, thanks for joining us for today's episode of Decision. My name is Rachel Biodene and I'm your host. Last week we had a topic, adolescent syndrome, and talked about teenagers and porn and all of that. And today we are still on that topic to show you how much we think that this topic is something we should dwell on. And we have a very seasoned guest with us, just one guest this time around, but he came with the might of so many. Okay, his name is Pastor Triumph Abaton.
Thank you.
Good day, sir. It's good to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
He's the senior pastor of Living Faith Church, Osubi, and he's also a renowned teenagers coach. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you too?
Fine. You're looking good. I love your blue.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go straight to the point. During research, we found that the average age of sex exposure to pornography is 90% for teenagers between 8 to 16 years old, while 80% of 15-year-old to 17-year-old teenagers are viewed at porn at least once. So it's the matter is not seeming like if your teenager would get involved with porn, it's when. That's what it's beginning to seem like. What's your take on the whole, why do you think porn has become almost a normal thing in our society today?
Okay, thank you very much for the privilege of being here. Well, when you look at the challenge that we have with pornography and the teenagers, is beyond the teenagers and equally beyond the parent. It's a government issue. Government issue because the influx of these materials into our market is as if it's free. Everybody have access to it. I mean, I've been to other countries or other nation in the world, and where we have embargo on certain, sites.
Really?
Yes, that your age determine where you can access.
Okay.
And I think that the government didn't want to do anything about it. The government must first of all put structures in place that will equally help these young ones, because when anything is available on the streets, definitely anybody can have access to it. Yeah. That is one. The area of the parent is so minimal now, because the parents are not the one in charge of making policies that govern the society. So the only thing that the parent could do is just to watch over their children while at home. That's a great work anyway. But what about if those children are in school or they're on the streets? Who will watch over them? The government policy. So
you're advocating right now that the government should do something about it?
There's something they could do about it.
Okay.
There's something, because it's a cyber, is the space.
Yeah.
And so you can program it. Before you have access to phone in some nation of the world, your age also determines the kind of phone and determine the kind of apps you have on the phone, determine the kind of sites you can equally visit. Now, even for adults, there was a time I was in Dubai, and I found out that there are some sites that you can access.
Really?
Yes. You put it on, they say, no, you can't. And so, it is possible. Just that we have...
in those nations, I'm sorry, is it proven that we have less teenagers or less people into pornography?
Definitely.
Okay.
You do.
Okay.
Unlike in the US that it's free for
everything
all.
goes.
But in the UK, definitely you still have restriction. Some parts of Europe you still have restriction.
And it's helping society at large.
Yes, and in Asia you still have restriction. In South Korea you have restriction. There's so many things you can access in South Korea. And so it's possible.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the church now. We've talked about the government, and we hope that someone out there watching, or at least around here in the studio, someone is thinking, when I get to the government, this is something I should do. Now for the church has become, the church is more reactive than proactive. They've been passive. Well, what the church does majorly is, crying over spilled milk. When a teen or someone, even sometimes adults, when they're involved already in pornography, the church tries to, rescue them. What can church do more to help them not even get to that place? So to be proactive.
Unfortunately, the number, when you look at the hours that, or the duration that both the adult and the teenager or the child do or spend in the church, is so minimal. In a week, you're just there 2 hours on Sunday, and then maybe 2 hours on Wednesday. Average of 6 hours in a week. And so you find that within the 6 hours, there's so many other programs that the church want to touch. They want to talk about. They want to talk about the family, want to talk about healing, talk about deliverance, talk about prosperity, talk about faith, talk about how you can live your life, enjoy worship. And so you find that it's so minimal what the church could do. So all the church can just hanker on is on God's grace. That look, okay, we know we pray, and we believe that when we pray, God hears us. So let's use prayers to deal with this issue. Aside that, the other area that the church can help is through counseling, and but not equally, even at counseling, most of these teenagers do not come out to tell you that this is what I'm going through. It's not until when they they are now in a deep mess. That's when they now come and say, okay, this is what has happened, and then you can now begin to, and it takes time. When something has gone bad, it takes time for it to be corrected.
Okay, but at this point, we're talking about when it has already happened. I think I want us to do on how can the church stop this from not even happening in the first place?
How can a church?
Yeah.
Okay.
What can church do to help to make sure that, okay, our teenagers don't even go that far?
It's the same thing I'm still saying. We need the church for the church to help in reducing or coping this. Then the church need to be in the government. Church need to be in government.
Okay.
Church must be in government. Church must be in government. Church has not been in government. Okay. We've left governance to unbelievers. We left governance to irresponsible adults. We left governance to people that they are greedy and they are self-centered. So church need to be in governance, and so that they can make policies that will affect the society based on our knowledge of the Word of God.
Yeah.
And that is the way out. Or else we'll just be dealing with the leaves, and then the root is still there.
Okay.
The challenge will still be there, and then what we just be bringing out the symptom. No, there is a root cause. The root cause is our policy. Okay. And so, for example, a state can have a cyber space that can determine what is allowed in that particular cyber space.
I know of some states that they don't allow Facebook.
Yeah.
Like Facebook is out of it.
You can determine. It's just like you spend money. These things are possible. So the church needs to just educate. Be in government. When you are there, you can make policy on money, you can make policy on education, you can make policy, or else, as you said, crying over spilled milk. Okay, the milk is already in the hand of the wrong person, and surely it will pour off. And what we now need to do is just to sit down and be praying, and the Lord help. But now we need to begin to build ourselves up to be important.
So while we're trying to be in government, are there not teachings that the church can center for teenagers to make sure that they are groomed in a way that porn is not something that is a big deal to them?
Fine. For example, I am calling to children, and I have a major passion for children and teenagers, and I'm doing a lot of work by the help of the Holy Spirit in making sure that whatever they are exposed to, there's a way they can be helped, especially when it comes to sexual permissive. Now, what I'm doing now is that we're teaching them on the dangers of exposure to pornos, and equally danger on exposure to men and women for people that are now practicing it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're looking at equally teaching on danger of pregnancy, teenage pregnancy. And so with this, there are so many things that we believe that with information, we have to keep talking. We have to keep engaging. You understand? We have a special class that we run for teenagers aside the church program. And so we run special class for them, and that special class will actually go beyond what the scope is given to us, and so that their mind can begin to look at how to help themselves to live a better life. Aside that, it's just talking to them. You have to create a platform for these children to be free to talk with you. You understand? You have to, if you want to catch the monkey, they say you have to know how to eat banana. You understand? And so we have to create a platform for them to be open up to us, to talk. You know, not defensive, not that, oh, no, all those things. No. We need to create the platform, and then let them come up. You know, I've seen some teenagers come to me and talk to me about this. Okay, they have this challenge, pornography, they have this challenge with masturbation, they have this challenge with sexual and all those things. And I do, well, don't worry, it's not that it's something new. It's something that is that has been. We need to deal with it. So this is the way out.
Okay.
So
one more question before we go on the break. I hope we can finish it before the break. What are the dangers of pornography? Now that question seems like a normal question, but people don't actually know that pornography is something that can destroy. At best, you know, what is told in church is, oh, evil spirits, this and all of that. But what are the dangers that teenagers can relate to? I think if we tell them more of this, they would know.
Well, one major danger that I want to talk on now before we go on break is on productivity. It hinders your productivity level.
Okay, how so?
How so? Because a lot of time is invested into pornography, and by the time you put in like 5 hours, you can't get stuck 5 minutes on pornography, because the appetite is arousing, and so you keep watching, you fix your eyes on it.
The more you watch,
the more you want to watch. You want to click, and it's very cheap and easy to click. And so as you're clicking, you're going for 5 hours, and you need to, before they stop that watching, they must have gotten to a point of ecstasy where they sexually they are satisfied, and before you reach that level, it takes some hours. So those hours are now being taken away from your productivity hours, and so you find out that people that engage in that do not have time to focus on what can move their life forward. That's number one. Number two also is that it's the part of the brain that deals with sexual appetite is equally part of the brain that deals with emotional, they call it emotional education, emotional brain. And for you, that particular part of the brain cannot treat two things at a time. It can't deal with sexual appetite or equally food appetite and deal with emotional thing that can move your life forward. And you need the emotional brain to be stimulated through education to move your life forward. There are skills that are needed that is only that part of the brain that can help you. And so if you now occupy that part of the brain with sexual, with porn and all those things, that means that you're losing out. You're losing out. I've never seen any sexual perverse person in school coming out with good grades. I've never. They don't.
And that's because part of the brain is really affected.
It's not the part of the brain that's supposed to help them to be productive is engaged in something wrong.
Okay. We'll go on a break right now. When we come back, we'll continue on dangers of pornography.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
Decisions. Hello, welcome back to Decisions. Before we went on the break, we were talking about dangers of pornography. Okay, and we talked about how it leaves the people unproductive, and it leaves the emotional part and even sometimes academic part useless. So what are other dangers of pornography?
You are other dangers of...
Sorry, can I put futuristic dangers? You know how most times we see it now, we just see what's happening now. And I think you gave us two dangers that is a now thing. What happens to a 14-year-old What happens to you in 20 years' time?
That is what I'm saying. There's no how you can be productive
In the long run.
in the long run.
Okay.
If you become addicted to pornography, it reduces your productivity level. You become a moron in the society.
Oh.
And
So you're saying that there are no successful pornographers anymore like that?
they are none, because when I talk about true success,
Okay.
we're talking about enduring success.
Yeah.
We're not talking about people that
Fleeting money.
we're talking about enduring success.
Okay.
There's none.
Okay.
The danger also is that you become an irresponsible adult,
Okay.
irresponsible father or mother at the end of the day, because you're always lured into that. And then the other danger is that you waste your money. Money that's supposed to be used for productive things.
Yeah.
You invest it on that.
You know, funny enough, there was a
Yeah.
statistic that said that about $97 billion every year is what the pornography industry gets.
In Nigeria or
No,
in the
worldwide. So I can imagine
It's a
how
lot of
much
money.
money is pumping into
so
that.
it's a lot of money.
Wow.
Because any clicking, your money is going.
Yeah.
Any opening of the site, your money is going. And so at the end of the day, it makes these children also to begin to look for money to do this.
Yeah.
And so they go into
Other social vices.
Exactly. Stealing, into hand robbery, into yahoo,
Prostitution for
plus
ladies.
prostitution for the girls, because they have to keep that emotional life going. That is destructive. So at the end of the day, we have a bunch of adults in the society that is irresponsible.
Okay. Okay. Well, then, so how can parents, because for this solution, this problem we're trying to get a solution to, she's in a place where she's a parent, she's a step parent for that matter. So how can parents help when you find out that their children are addicted to pornography?
No, the step that parents should take in helping their teenagers in this particular situation is talking to them. There has to be a lot of discussion, but unfortunately, I find that a lot of parents also are not trained to raise
Those
children.
kind of discussions,
so
yeah.
they mess things up. You find parents just shouting,
Shout,
yelling. So
punishment.
they actually, the children lost the respect or the trust on their parent, because the parents have not been there as loyal to them. Loyalty now comes into play. If you have discussed that issue with somebody that the children do not want, then you're already blocking the chance of having access to them. So the way to get it done is talk to them. Now, if you're a parent and you don't know how to go about it, some of us, God has blessed us to deal with this issue. So introduce your children to people that God has blessed with the ministry of talking to teenagers and children. And that is it. And then they just leave it. And because the solution, that's one. The other solution is engage them in productive task. Something that we bring equal or more pleasure than what they're gaining from pornography. So you have to look at your child, be able to help him or her to know what is it that he or she is good at, and then let us invest each time or our time into those areas, because there's a distraction that is needed. I do tell young people that come for counseling, I said, number one, you can't do porno in the public.
True.
If you're responsible. So there's a chance of sense of responsibility on these children. So they don't do porno in the public. So you do it in the closet. So you puncture isolation. You puncture loneliness. So parents should always engage that. And then number two is that reduce their access to gadgets.
Okay.
You understand? They need to do it. They'll do it at home. There's a way you can reduce their access to gadgets. For example, a teenager does not need Android now in Nigeria because there's no regulation on it. Okay, so if you need to do any assignment, then you come home, do it in my office, or do it in the office at home, where everybody can see what is happening, and then keep talking, keep educating them. A lot of parents do not have healthy conversation with their children. They don't. So to bring out those issues Because children need to bring it on the table that, look, these are challenges I'm going, but they don't have the platform.
Yes.
So the parents also need to go through training on how to train their children.
And by training, they could get this reading books.
Yes, reading books, listening
certain
to
messages,
and going for seminars. You know, where you see parenting in 24th century, parenting and all those
so
things.
the bulk of the work is on parenting. That means people should stop. And I think this why parents have most of these issues is because of they have accidental. We have accidental parents who don't plan for this whole parenting thing, and it just comes up on them. So I think to our parents out there, it's very important that you plan for parenting. You learn how to be a better parent. Okay.
One of the we have some other solutions or means of eliminating this syndrome in the lives of our teenagers, and one of which is mind renewal.
Okay.
You know, that is a major program. It's actually a neural association program that is ability to reprogram the mind to do something productive for these children. Number 2 is spiritual renewal. Okay, that has to do with engaging the person to in the place of worship. Understand? And then things will begin to happen. God knows how to disconnect certain things from our lives. And then number 3 is vision. Vision has a capacity and capability to awaken the giant within us. If you can see the future that you desire, then you're able to sacrifice whatever it is that can stop you.
See where they want to get to.
So it's the same equally with somebody like me growing up. You know, actually, I had a great time, but I had a great spiritual upbringing, and then I was able to catch on a vision early in life, and so he helped me to renew my mind and then move on with my life.
Okay. Thank you so much. We've actually had a great time learning from you. But one more thing before we go, we usually ask, as is our custom here, the best or worst decision you've ever made in your life. One of the best. I know that you've lived a long life and had so many decisions. So one of the best or worst decisions you made, why, and how can people learn from it?
Okay, the best decision I made,
apart from getting married and being born again.
Apart from getting married, being born again, the best decision is the worst. Let me start with the worst. The worst is, and it can't be the worst. I don't think now, but the best is the call of God. That throwing in my towel in for the call of God, accepting the call of God from the Lord at the age of 19 years old. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. That's the best so far. And everything I am now, it hinges on that. Okay, the worst. I can't figure it.
Okay, we can let that slide. Okay, finally, so what's the last thing you have to say for teenagers and parents of teenagers in this kind of situation? The final words for them, sir.
Parents and teenagers. The word for the parent is number 1, get informed, get education, or be educated. Know so many things about your.
Sorry, and by educated, it doesn't mean go and get a degree.
No, you don't need to go for a degree. Talk to people. I mean, Jesus said, "Come unto me, that labor and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Learn of me." So look for people that have the technical know-how, the skill in dealing with the challenges that you're going through. And then talk with them, rub minds with them, and then before you know what's happening, you have solution to the challenges at home. And then for the teenagers, I just need them to understand that if not for the compliance of Isaac to fully submit to the will of God concerning the life of his dad and equally himself, the greatness of Abraham would be eluded. So there is a need for parents and for children to know that their obedience to God, their obedience to social rights, and their obedience to authority plays a larger role in the prosperity of their family. It plays a major role in the prosperity of their family. So if teenagers know this, that look, if I comply, God will use that to bless my family. Okay, so let me do something. And also teenagers that are fed up with this particular situation should equally go out for help. Look out for somebody that can help you. Talk to your pastors, talk to your seniors, I mean, talk to somebody that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone that can help you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been so enlightening having you. We hope to have you very soon again, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Talk to someone. If someone has broken your heart or has broken your trust before, look for another person to talk to out there. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Decision. My name is Rita. We'll see you next week. Bye.